Let's go over these multiple choice questions about the stomata. Remember that stomata are going to be these openings on the underside of leaves where two important things are going to occur. CO2 is going to enter through these leaves and oxygen is going to exit. So this is the location where gas exchange is going to occur for a plant. Remember also that this is the location that water is also going to exit. So this is where the plant's going to regulate how much water loss occurs. Here's the first question. Plants in deserts have only few stomata to reduce. So remember we just talked about this. Deserts mean that it's going to be hot and dry. So what the plants do is they've evolved to have less stomata to make sure that they don't have too much water loss. So the answer here is B. This is an easy question just because it's just looking at, again, what's the function of stomata? There's not really a lot behind it, so this is a little bit of a lower level question. Here's the medium question. Which of the following is false? So there's gonna be a bunch of statements. Which one is the false statement concerning stomata? Let's go through our answers. A, oxygen and water exits a plant through stomata. That sounds right, that's not the answer. B, carbon dioxide enters the plant through the stomata. Again, that sounds right, we talked about it. That's not the answer. C, most water loss from a plant occurs through stomata. That is true. Most water loss does occur through those stomata. That's why they have to be regulated. So C is out. D, stomata are on the underside of leaves. Again, we talked about that. Yes, that is true. And then E, stomata open and close in response to light levels. Well, it's not really light levels. It's heat. So it's close, but this one is wrong, which means it is the right answer. Here's the last question, and again, you can see why this is difficult. There's a lot of words here, but let's just try to work through it together. When stomata close on a hot, dry day. Okay, so hot and dry, they're closing. They're closing it to stop water from exiting the plant. What's going to happen is water is going to be conserved. However, oxygen levels are going to go up and CO2 levels are going to go down because the plant's going to continuously use that CO2 and keep on producing oxygen, but the oxygen can't get out now. All right, so again, stomata are closed, it's hot. What is the immediate advantage? We just talked about it. And potential disadvantage? We just talked about it for the plant. Let's see if we can find those answers in A through E. A, advantage, increased photosynthesis. No, it would be decreased photosynthesis because we don't have enough CO2, so we already know that one's out. B, advantage, reduced water loss. That sounds like the right answer. Disadvantage, reduced gas exchange. That's the CO2 coming in, oxygen going out. I think it's the answer. Let's move on though. C, advantage, more oxygen uptake. It's actually a problem because photorespiration can occur, so I know that this is not the answer. D, advantage, increased transpiration. Disadvantage, heat gain. Nope, didn't talk about anything about those two. E, advantage, increased CO2 absorption. Again, that's the opposite of what happens. We know E is out. So the right answer here is B.